What up, though? It's your boy KG. You might know me from The Kevin Gill Show or from Game Changer Wrestling, but I digress because right now you're watching the illest YouTube channel on the planet with my man Brian Zane, Wrestling with Regret.
Well, folks, we're a little more than a month away from my favorite time of the year, Wrestlemania Weekend. I've been taking part of the festivities in the host cities for the last 5 years now, and every year it's gotten bigger and bigger. From Wednesday until Monday night, Tampa, Florida is going to have wall-to-wall wrestling available for you. Besides the WWE shows, of course, everyone and their mother runs in the host city, yours truly included, because that's where all the fans are. And it's not just local fans or American fans. Dozens of countries from all over the world are represented every Mania weekend. Though it can be a bit overwhelming at times, to me the whole weekend is the ultimate fan experience and one you should definitely check out at least once in your life, kind of like a pilgrimage of sorts. Even if you don't care about WrestleMania or WWE in general, there's still so many different options out there that weekend, there's bound to be something for you. Of all the goings-on every year, one of my personal favorites has to be WrestleCon. Each year, Highspots hosts this massive event where fans can meet legends, current and future stars, and yours truly an April Hunter, just FYI. And of course, the people watching can be a whole experience in and of itself. I've had a table at the con every year since Dallas, and it's been a great way to meet fans and catch up with colleagues. But without question, the event's hallmark is the WrestleCon Supershow, a one-night gathering of the biggest wrestling talent in the world not signed by WWE. Peppered in with future stars and some established icons, not only is the Super Show a celebration where the wrestlers are allowed to have some fun, it also serves as an annual guide to the people wrestling fans should look out for in the next couple years. With so much talent sharing the ring every year, there is a wealth of memorable matches and moments at these events. And this week, with the help of Highspots, I'm going to rank them, the top 8 wildest moments in WrestleCon Super Show history. Number 8. Orange Cassidy takes Christopher Daniels to the limit, New York City. We take you to the second annual Mark Hitchcock Memorial Show in Midtown Manhattan just this past year. In the heart of New York City, SCU entered the ring and issued an open challenge for a trios match. In response emerged the Best Friends in their Best 96 Scott Hall attire, along with the previously unannounced Orange Cassidy. In a preview of what you would see 1 year later with AEW, Mr. Freshly Squeezed himself gave the Fallen Angel fits, as he refused to take his hands out of his pockets to wrestle Daniels. Things quickly devolved, and soon the former Ring of Honor World Champion was at the mercy of Orange and his own brand of, quote, shoot combat.
Orange Cassidy has brought this ballroom in Midtown Manhattan to their feet.
Number 7. The Jarretts Vs The World, Dallas. If there's one city with a history of wild wrestling crowds through the decades, it's the Big D, and the 2,000 people who packed the WrestleCon Super Show in 2016 were no different, myself and Jay Biggs included. One of the show's more infamous moments took place during the 10-man tag team match, a Super Show tradition. The standing room only crowd watched Team Jarrett take on Team Ryan, but not before the former Chosen one whipped the fans into a frenzy with his very drawn-out promo.
He has to go be an attention whore and throw his stuff on YouTube, and he has his UP sponsorship. He censored himself.
Between Jarrett's comments and his friendly interactions with wife Karen at ringside, the crowd wanted to see Double J get his before the opening bell even rang. But it was his mid-match tirade that made Tommy Dreamer object in the most colorful way possible.
If you don't fight me like a man, I swear to God, I'll open these gates and let 2,000 people fight you.
On the one hand, you could argue this is classic old school heat, and the fact they were able to get that kind of reaction with very minimal physicality is very impressive. On the other hand, the Jarretts might have taken it too far, especially when Karen Jarrett spat at ring announcer Melissa Santos during the match. One or two more wrong moves and there could have easily been a riot that night in Dallas.
Go to fucking Weight Watchers, asshole! Go lose some fucking weight!
Number 6. A big surprise in the Big Easy, New Orleans. Now usually the matches they announce at the Super Show are worth the price of admission themselves, but it's the surprises that really take things over the top. The thousands in attendance got just that in 2018 as they were stunned by a huge 6-man tag match that was completely unannounced. The trio of Sami Callihan, Juice Robinson, and the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, took on the team of Brian Cage, David Starr, and the murder grandpa himself, Minoru Suzuki.
There he is, the baddest man on the planet, Minoru Suzuki.
As for the match itself, the offense was as hard-hitting, snug, and downright filthy as you might expect, especially from guys like Callihan and Suzuki. In the end, one of the scariest men in wrestling put the self-proclaimed draw down with an armbar, then after the bell rang was just looking for more limbs to break. Number 5. Wrestling Dance Party, Orlando. As you've already seen on this countdown, these shows aren't just about insane athleticism and storytelling, but also about having fun, and this next match perfectly embodied that philosophy. At the 2017 Super Show, we go back to the 10-man tag match as Team Ospreay battled Team Ricochet. Things were fast and furious from the get-go, but just as things were ramping up to a breakneck pace...
What is going on here? What is happening?
A dance-off broke out in the middle of the ring to the funky tunes of Bruno Mars. From Ricochet to Marty Scurll to Lio Rush to Sami Callihan, everyone was getting down except for one surly Drew Galloway.
Wait a second. No! Drew Galloway in the corner, not having it.
On the day before he announced his return to WWE, the Scottish psychopath showed everyone that even he could cut a rug. For a limited time only, of course. Should he beat Brock Lesnar for the title this year in Tampa, I'm putting down money he'll celebrate like this during the after party. Number 4. Jushin Liger versus the Road Warriors, San Jose. We take you to the sunny Bay Area in 2015 with another incredible multi-man tag team match, as the high-flying trio of Ricochet, AR Fox, and Jushin Thunder Liger battled Roderick Strong and The Addiction. Our friends from earlier in the countdown, Daniels and Kaz, show up again here, as they decide to pay tribute to one of the biggest names in tag team wrestling in the Road Warriors. From there, it was a non-stop highlight reel as each side wowed the fans with their dizzying array of high-flying and crisp technical moves. In the end, the Japanese legend would put Daniels away with his Shote Palm Strike and the Brainbuster, wrapping up one of the best matches of the entire weekend. Number 3. House Hardy versus the Lucha Brothers, Orlando. Now, with all its theme parks, Orlando is a city known for making dreams come true. With that in mind, how's this for a dream match? In the same weekend that saw Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero make a delightful return to WWE to one of the biggest ovations in WrestleMania history, the Hardy Boys had a few other matches outside the company to cross off their list, one being against one of the most dynamic duos in wrestling today, the Lucha Brothers. Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix brought the fight to the Hardys in a match that was every bit as good as advertised. The battle ended when Jeff Hardy hit the swanton on both of his opponents, but it was the Lucha Brothers who got the ultimate seal of approval and the passing of the torch.
And you two are one of the greatest tag teams in the universe. You love great wrestling, and in events like this, you get great wrestling ass.
Number 2. Who's Chuck Taylor's partner? New Orleans. We go back to 2018, what was originally billed as a dream match between the Golden Lovers and the Best Friends was derailed when Trent Beretta went down with an injury. For weeks, fans were left in the dark as to who Trent's replacement would be, until it was time for Chuck Taylor to literally face the music.
Chucky T being played to the ring by a second line. Eat your heart out, WrestleMania entrances. Yes. 3 men who are kind of not too excited to be here playing him to the ring.
Out first came the Swamp Monster, who was soon dispatched by Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. Chuck then called for Orange Cassidy, but he was asleep. Dan Barry came and went, and even Trent himself wanted to come back until his old New Japan partner Rocky Romero kept him safe. Finally, Flip Gordon emerged. After reminding everyone of his thoughts on the shape of the earth, he volunteered to team with Chucky because he wanted to impress Kenny Omega and get booked at All In. Once the bell rang, the action was intense, after of course a mid-abdominal stretch smoke break with some peer pressure thrown in.
They're saying all in.
Peer pressure.
You're either committed or you're not. And Flip Gordon seems to be committed.
Omega and Ibushi would win the hard-fought battle, and Flip would get his booking, but it was the surreal opening moments that had fans elated for Gordon's arrival and one of the strangest matches in WrestleCon history. And the number 1 wildest moment in WrestleCon Supershow history is Jerry Lawler's revenge, New Orleans. In a city as wild as New Orleans, it's only appropriate it would be the host of so many of the Super Show's craziest matches and moments. So what puts this one at the top?
Fire! 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 Fire!
On this night, it appeared that Joey Ryan had been inhabited by the spirit of wrestling's favorite comedian, Andy Kaufman. Sporting Kaufman's famous Long John's gym shorts combo, Ryan went into a classic Andy bit, telling the male wrestling fans to soap up and for the ladies to shave, when suddenly this blast from the past was greeted by an old rival.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Holy shit! That's no woman's theme song! That is not a man's theme song! That is a king's theme song!
Joey Ryan may have bit off more than he could chew. I was about to say, Jerry Lawler, defender of women everywhere.
On the 35th anniversary of Lawler's famous piledriver to Kaufman in Memphis, the King issued a challenge to Ryan, but the Kaufman cosplayer had a secret weapon, the State Athletic Commission.
But Lawler, you can't give me the piledriver in Louisiana.
Oh, he's got a point there!
The Hall of Famer tried taking Joey to Dick Kick City, but Ryan was unfazed. And although pile drivers are illegal in Louisiana, apparently fire isn't, as the King used his infamous fire-throwing skills to hit Joey right in the moneymaker. Though the moment caused Lawler to get DQ'd, it did gift us with one of the strangest out-of-context lines on commentary by Excalibur.
The Cajun-style penis of Joey Ryan never quite experienced a spice like that.
It was a segment that paid tribute to an iconic moment in wrestling history in a way that was very on brand for both guys involved. Then it blew up, so to speak, until it became one of the landmark moments for the entire weekend in New Orleans. Not to mention, it had to be a cathartic visual for the anti-Ryan fans out there. By the way, total coincidence Joey Ryan's shown up in the last 2 of my videos. Please don't read into it. For all these reasons, the King's Fireball to the King of Dong Style is my pick for the wildest moment in WrestleCon Super Show history. Well, thanks to the folks at Highspots for sponsoring this week's video. We'll have to see how the performers at this year's Super Show can top all that Thursday, April 2nd at the Ritz in Heber City. And hey, if you're going to be in Tampa for Mania Weekend, come meet me and the crew and April Hunter at WrestleCon that Friday and Saturday morning. Then catch me, April, Matthew from Botchamania, and COLT CABANA for my movie screening that afternoon at the Cuban Club. And then while you're at it, go check out Super Card of Honor in Lakeland, Florida later that night. So much to do, so little time to do it, but that is the chaos and the beauty of WrestleMania Weekend. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.
Go! Welcome to WrestleCon. Welcome to WrestleCon. Welcome to WrestleCon. Go!